Hey guys, Luke here, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 2 of my Rugby League Live 3 Be A Pro series with James Hart. And we're still at the Bulldogs, and we're going to be at the Bulldogs for the next few seasons, as that's the contract that we signed. And with that contract that we signed, gave us a lot more money, so expect us to be using those bonuses. I'm not going to say every week, but if there's something that's good, some sort of deal on the table there, we should be able to add those boosts to our player. Obviously, you saw there we got to an 80 rated after last episode. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's the Auckland Nines. It was quite interesting. We did get towed up a fair bit, but moving into the proper games, I'm a lot more confident in terms of winning these games, especially against the Tigers. They don't look like a particularly good side. Will Hopewadi is a player of note that is on the wing there, but I think he was on the wing last season for them as well. It's hard to remember which one's the Be A Pro and which one's my West Tigers series and who signed where and that sort of stuff, but definitely was the Be A Pro because I play as the West Tigers from my other career mode. But our first involvement in the game there, we made a few tackles and that sort of stuff, but our first involvement in terms of the ball was a kick return there, and they followed up with a forward pass. It's just so dumb, and it's just a glitch in the game that I think they need to fix, and fingers crossed they have fixed it by the time I end up putting this video up, but I doubt it. They have a pretty strong run there. I'm not sure if it's Syrian, I don't know who it was, but we got palm straight off there, and then we come up with a big tackle there, and I think it's Frank Pritchard who picks up the ball there, makes a few meters, and I will say Auckland Nines definitely wasn't our best showing, but in terms of James Hart's abilities, we showed that he's still he's deadly with the ball, and definitely not good under the high ball by the looks of things, as Robbie Farah rises above him. And I would say it's not going to be the last time you see Robbie Farah or some other random forward jump James Hart under the high ball, because his stats just aren't very good, and that's something we'll have to keep working on. And there's a big tackle there. You see, we didn't go for the legs tackle, which is something you might find interesting. And when I say legs tackle, I mean that the double sort of it's not a glitch, but it's super overpowered. You don't miss the tackle. It's the one that you're supposed to do, the diving tackle. It's one you're supposed to do when you're running down someone, but if you do it all the time, it works every single time. You might have an offload here and there, but it's the one you want to go for. But we want to progress out of that. I don't want to be doing that. It's not realistic. I know the game's not the most realistic game, but players don't go for those legs tackle every single time, especially when you're running head on with someone. So we want to be able to get those armpit tackles down pat, and also the the one around the legs, that sort of stuff, like the proper, like the A or X, depending on what console you're on. But right here, I think it's Nofaluma. I don't know who it was. Just ran and picked it up, turned around, just had so much space. I don't know what B-Moz was doing out in the wing there. It's just appalling stuff there. But James Hart finds himself in a bit of space there. I think it was Luke Brooks or someone coming across there, but Nofaluma, or number 2 for the Tigers, is the one who made the tackle, as well as making a line break here. Brett Morris just getting owned on this side, or maybe it is Kane Brennan, not really sure, because Kane Brennan's in the side. That's one thing you'll notice. If you haven't watched a lot of Be A Pro, you might not be fully aware, as that's a really nice kick return there, sort of just weaving our way through the line there, and it's going to continue on. Well, it's not really going to continue because it's half time, but I was going to say the clip continues. 6-0 is what we're down at half time, but we can come back from that. Josh Morris and James Hart both having solid games, and I'd say Josh Morris probably would have had a better game, because if he could pass the ball, but that's just not what the game does. They don't pass the ball when they're in holes for some reason. It's pretty dumb. There's a lot of things in this game that are quite frustrating, as Tigers make another line break, and I was talking about something before, but I totally forgot what I was talking about, so we'll end up getting off that. But kick returns here, that's another good kick return. Kick returns have been somewhat of our speciality, I suppose. I think it's a good thing if you're a fullback, whatever, but we're going to try and take on some players, and we get absolutely monstered there by Curtis Syrian, and a lot of players will be saying, well, in terms of my West Tigers career, mate, they're saying, why would you pick Curtis Syrian at 5'8"? Pick him in the back row and that sort of stuff, and I picked him for his defence, and so we were on the brunt, we were on the end of some of his defence, and that was really good. In terms of us in attack there, we never got thrown over the sideline, but we showed enough willpower, or not willpower, but enough to keep ourselves in, and we're going to score a try here. We just go straight through Kevin Aguama and James Tedesco. Tedesco got left in the dust there, which is really nice, and we're just on the receiving end of an offload. Like, it wasn't something we created. Wasn't something where we sort of just ran through them, which we're trying to do right now. It was just off the receiving end of an offload, waiting for our teammates to do something, which was nice. And see, they're not the best pass from us there, but Brett Morris comes up with a decent enough kick there. But we started running on the last, and the reason I showed that play is because that was the last time we would have touched the ball, and it's a trial game. Why not go for it? Why not go for that try? We couldn't come up with a miracle play, but you know what? 6-all for our first trial game. I'm not too disappointed in that. I don't really care, to be honest, but Tigers, we probably should be scoring more, but I don't know, those objectives are so strange. Like, score 8 tries at a match, like, who's actually even done that? Also, I should mention, you might be wondering why is the video so much longer compared to last season. That's because we bumped up the length of the game. It's something that I said last season I was going to be doing once that season was over, and obviously I've delivered on my promise. That's what we're doing, and be able to see full effect in some of those high scoring games. I think the Nines wasn't a good example because it's just the same. We just played 5-minute halves, and especially because we hadn't done it before, so it was hard to judge. Yeah, Roosters made some interesting signings. Got Jeremy Hawkins on one wing. I'm not sure who's actually left or who's not playing or whatever, but yeah, Jeremy Hawkins on one wing, while on the other they end up having actually I can't remember who it was. Tupou still on that wing, but my next signing was that they got Chad Townsend on the bench, which is a bit of a strange signing there. Also, I think they had Tom Burgess and stuff like that based off the Nines. I didn't catch a few who's playing right there, but I'm going to start off the game really, really strong. Dylan Knapp has actually been really good for the Roosters in all the games we've taken them on, but I think it's Michael Jennings there with the ball. We come up with a big tackle. He offloads to absolutely nobody there. So that's a big tackle from us. We're going to follow it up with a bit of a run ourselves here. We're going to be looking to go across field, and we're just waiting for something to open up there. There was a little bit of a step, and then we have a pretty poor offload, but it does result in, pretty nicely for us to make a few more meters. Now that kick wasn't quite down our throat, but we end up making it down our throat. We get to that ball on the full, which is what we want to see. And you see there, plenty of space for us, and that's what we keep doing. I think it's Tony Williams on the ball there. Ended up getting it to probably Josh Morris or someone just there. And that gave us great field position. You can see here, Tony Williams just looking at the ball. So James Hart, he grabs onto it, he latches onto it, and he races over and scores. That was so simple there. I'm not going to show a replay, but if you look at the replay, it just looks like such a dumb try there. Both the Roosters, and I'm pretty sure it was Tony Williams, Terex. They were just standing there. It seems like something Tony Williams would do. No offense to Tony Williams, but just seems like something he would do, to be totally honest with you. And then right here, we came up with a big tackle to cause the error. Well, I suppose you'd say we can cause it. We caused the intercept. It was a bad pass by them. And Brett Morris obviously didn't have enough legs to go that length of the way, go the whole way, because those players coming across in cover who had a huge start in him. But what could have been nice, and I wish the computer could do that, is we were right there for an offload, and offload never came because game just doesn't do that. They'll either do that automatic one or none at all. But we start off the second half pretty impressive there. It was a tackle on Kenny Dow, and we're looking for our second try here. We take it around Tuivasa-Sheck there, and we're just attacking where the ruck was, attacking where the markers were, and we did what we do best. We take it around the fullback and we go and score tries. That's what we do. Second try of the game, a lot more impressive than the first one, I'd have to say, and it's a good start considering last season when I was going through at the end of season look for a try montage and that there just wasn't any tries really. We had barely any touches of the ball that was super impressive or anything, and not that great in defence either. So it was really tough compared to our under-20s year, which we had lots of brilliant tries. And starting off on the right foot, we scored a bunch of tries so far. We haven't scored a try in every single game because in one of those Auckland Lions game we didn't score, but we have scored in all but one game so far, which is quite nice. And we did end up conceding a try through Drake Friend. You would have seen it, and I haven't mentioned it yet, but another bit of poor defence from us in terms of getting dragged over the line, but that's also down to fitness and that sort of stuff, because I probably was involved in the plays leading up to that as well, so didn't have time to recover because we were constantly defending our line. But see right here, we cut back inside there, and we've got an open line. We've got Tuivasa-Sheck. He's going to run us down, you would think. Also got Jennings in support, but Tuivasa-Sheck is running us up there, and I was just hoping that we could have dragged ourselves over the line there, but Tuivasa-Sheck, he gets there with a few metres to spare, but it is Josh Morris who's going to go into a gap there, and that's the try that you want. J-Moz on that right centre, doesn't play right centre in real life, but he's on there this game, and he goes over and he scores, extends our lead as Trent Hodgson also kicks the goal, making it 18-6, and pretty much got this game sealed. And it's just been a pretty dominant performance from us. The only thing that would have really sealed this performance off is had we been able to come up with a bit more better defence, I would have to say. But Kenny Dow picks up the ball there. We come up with a crucial tackle there because they were racing away, you'd have to say. If we missed that tackle, that was game over. Well, not game over, but it was try time for them. Come up with another important tackle there, so that's 2 tackles in a row. Can we make it a third? It is only the second tackle, but they're spreading it across here a little bit, but they're going back to where the ball was. We come up with another big tackle, so that's 3 tackles in a row, and we're defending right on our line. So there was an intercept, and we find ourselves in a bit of space after calling for it. We've got Tuivasa-Sheck in front of us, but it was the number 11, probably Aiden Guerra or someone who ended up running us down there. So a little bit annoying, but we probably just showed a little bit of fatigue just there. Our stamina isn't the greatest. I mean, it's getting up there. It's pretty strong, but not quite the greatest. But I'm not going to say we didn't have any involvement in that tackle because of the animation or whatever, but we were right there, and it's just a shame that we couldn't have stopped that play a little bit earlier because we went for the dive, and there was really no need for us to dive in the end. But see there, just the way to beat this game, the way to play really well and beat the line is just to change your direction and change your pace and that sort of stuff. And that's what we're doing really, really well so far, or really, really well this game in particular against the Roosters. You saw we played a massive game, 192 in a trial game. Was our first game with our 10-minute halves, our second game with 10-minute halves. Obviously, the Tigers game we also played pretty well as well. There was no ratings increase. We're still an 80 overall. So hopefully next episode we can go up to an 81. That'd be nice. And also will be the start of the NRL season. So that's something interesting to get excited about. Anyways, that's where the video is going to end. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Luke MIT, face the page in the description below, and check out my second channel. It's in the description. It's Gaming with Mr. Luke. Go check that out. Alright, see you guys. Bye.